Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors, and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll check in at the Village Hall for an explanation of the construction permit process, including which permits are processed on the spot and which ones require additional review time. We'll get a quick review of the village's waste hauling program, including proper container storage. We'll stop by the Vernon Hills Public Works Department to hear about how far along the village is in its efforts to remove trees infested with the emerald ash borer and replant our urban forest. And we'll check in with the village's forestry division to learn the process and timeline for removal and replacement of damaged parkway trees. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.
Well, it's spring, finally spring. That means we're going to be busy. We're going to be busy around the house. We're going to be busy in the yard doing projects, and projects often need permits, so we don't want you surprised by that. We're with Mary Gilreath, who's one of the faces at the Village Hall front desk who can help you with your permits. And thanks for taking the time to talk, Mary. And I know there's a lot of different things that need permits, but let's talk about why. It isn't just to regulate the heck out of everybody, but it's for the safety, so work done is done correctly, because unfortunately sometimes work isn't done correctly.
Sure, that is true. Yeah, sometimes contractors or people just want to take shortcuts, and there's codes and requirements really for safety reasons, trip hazards, things like that. You don't want to put a fence in, and if you didn't dig the holes to the proper depth, it's falling over in a year and you have to redo it. You don't want to put a brick paver patio in and all of a sudden the bricks are coming up because the base wasn't done properly. So there really are reasons behind everything. And some permits are over the counter. We issue immediately. Some go in for review. And I just wanted to briefly go over the ones that go in for review. If you're going to do a shed or, for instance, a patio or a driveway or sidewalk, a deck, a fence, if you're going to remodel your basement, or put in a pool or a hot tub, those require us to do a review. Our review time takes up to 10 business days, and we're still early to mid part of April, but we have gotten busy already. I would say in the past 3 weeks, a lot of applications are starting to come in. So if you foresee that you're going to be doing a project, don't take your time. Get all your information in to us so we have time, and your schedule is what you want it to be as well. There are some permits that we issue immediately over the counter. Those are if you need to replace your siding or your roof, water heater or furnace and air conditioning. And what we ask with that is if a contractor comes in, we like to see a copy of the contract that the homeowner has signed agreeing to that work being done by that contractor. So if you're talking to somebody, make sure you get your signature on that paperwork so when they come in, there's no delay in us issuing them those permits.
Well, and when you go back to that, those over-the-counter permits, oftentimes it is the contractor that comes in, but you want to make sure somebody did it so you're not holding the bag at the end. And you like that signed contract because people live in a house, maybe somebody just shows up going through the neighborhood. You've had people try to do work that wasn't even authorized.
Absolutely, and it hasn't happened for a while, but it has happened. There's a lot of solicitors out there, and they should be licensed through the village. I guess we should talk about that now, too. So if somebody's knocking on your door, ask to see their solicitor's license. And sometimes, and as I said in the past, contractors would come in and apply for a permit without the homeowner really agreeing to it. So that's why it's for the safety of the resident.
Okay, and when you talk about those things that you can walk in and get, it is, when you say over the counter, it is quick. As long as you've got that signed contract and you've got this piece of paper, right, you fill it out and you can get it right that day and go right back to work.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've got, the various permit applications. They're on our website. You can always just come into the Village Hall and pick them up, or, we've simplified a lot of the applications, so it's not the big one if you were building a house or anything like that. And it asks specific questions. All of our permit fees are based upon the cost of the job, and as far as payment, we accept cash or check only here at the Village Hall. We try to reiterate that every time we call in on something that's been reviewed, cash or check only, because we unfortunately at this time we do not take credit cards.
Okay. And when we talk about things too, you talk about the money going in, some jobs you'll actually submit money that can come back once you get that final inspection. Okay, so you want to, if you want to finish the process so you don't end up with you guys holding money you don't need to.
Right, true. Yeah, when we call and say, for instance, your permit might be $100 or $200, a part of that fee is a permit fee and what we call a refundable completion bond. And what that bond does, it ensures that you are calling in all of the proper inspections you're supposed to. So if you never call in that final inspection, you may forfeit the bond because your permit is only good for 1 year. And after a year, that bond can be forfeited. So you want to make sure you call in all of your proper inspections.
Let's talk a little bit, let's go back to those permits that take a bit longer, and you said it has a review process. There's also some rules that make sure you're on your own property and not somebody else's property, things like that. And so that often requires you to know what your property line is. Can you help people understand that plat survey?
Well, and there are some applications, for instance, actually most of these here, you know, your fence, your driveway, your deck, a patio. On the application, it's going to tell you what the requirements are. And in most cases, your plat survey is required. Look through all of your paperwork, regardless of when you purchased your home. You will have a plat survey in your closing documents because there are certain guidelines. Maybe whatever it is you're doing needs to have a certain setback from your property line, maybe 7 feet or 10 feet or something of that nature. But the handouts we have are very specific. It tells you where the locations of that project can be, what the construction requirements are. And then we just need it marked on your plat survey. Even if it's your driveway, sometimes people might want to expand their driveway a few inches on each side. We need to see that. If you're not changing the size, that's great, but we still need to see you highlight, the driveway on your plat survey.
And sometimes, like you said, in your closing documents, you do have some plats of survey here. Maybe your closing company or your lawyer who helped with that, they might be a place. Because to go get a new plat of survey, it's a pricey thing.
It is pricey. It is pricey. We do have some copies. We don't have all. So first we ask that you check through all of your closing documents, as I said, regardless of when you purchased your home. If it has been recent and you don't seem to have one, call your attorney that you use, see if they have it. You can check with us. We try to keep the plats that we do get in, but as I said, we don't have copies of all of them. And if we do have it, we'll be more than happy to make copies for you.
And if somebody's doing a bigger project, like say a home remodel or things like that, there are rules about how big you can get, for instance. Not only where you can put it, how big you can get, all those things. And sometimes there are some other groups that get involved. I know you've got some different zoning review and you've got some volunteers that sit down and review all this stuff, but that will add time to the process.
Absolutely, yeah, especially like basically what you're referring to is like if you're putting out a room addition. And again, that handout tells you what you need to submit. And not even if you're building out, but if you're going upwards, we still need your plat survey. There's Florida area ratio, restrictions on how large your lot is versus how large the house can be on it. There have been a few instances where people have had to go before Zoning Board of Appeals for their room addition, and it is a much more lengthy process. So hopefully you fit all the requirements and you don't have to go through that process, and we can get through the review in a normal time.
One is, as we said, you guys are here to help. You guys are here to help people walk through the process, and this information is online, so you can read up and see where your questions are even before you come in.
Totally, yeah. On our website, right on our main page, on the left-hand side, if you click on Forms and Documents, that takes you 2 pages in the Building Department where you can pull up all of the residential permitting applications and all their requirements and what you need to do. And if you have any problem with that, just give us a call. We're always here to help.
Well, and that's the thing too. I know in years past, especially when there was a big booming, there was so much going on and it was so busy. You guys have really tried to streamline things, and even though you do get busy, it's a much more efficient process as of late if somebody hasn't done it lately.
We have, yeah. But keep in mind that there's a time frame involved.
And there's only so many people working over here.
And that is true. That's true, yes.
Well, that's like building and projects and outside. But another thing, let's move over here, because another thing you've got at the front desk is you can get yard waste stickers, because we're in that season where, and it depends on how much yard waste you get or what season you do it. But can you give us an overview of how Advanced Disposal does provide yard waste service during that April through November?
Yeah, yard waste season is active. It started April 1st. It runs through November 29th. And Advanced Disposal has come up with another option this year. If you need the full year service between April 1st and November 29th, it's a $100 flat rate. This is directly to them, not through us here at the village. But Advanced Disposal is also offering another option, which is mid-season, because often maybe the most yard waste you're going to collect is when all the leaves fall off your trees. So that could run from August 1st through November 29th. It has a $75 flat rate that, so just give Advance a call. Tell them if you need either one of those options. There are deadlines when you need to call them by. So, go onto their website or just call them if this is something you're interested in. Also, you can, yard waste stickers this year are $2 a piece. You can buy them directly through Advanced Disposal in minimum orders quantities of 10. And they'll mail them to you, and then they will just add that onto your bill. They are also available here at the Village Hall, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5. Again, we only take cash or checks only. You can buy any quantity. You can buy 1 sticker, you can buy 5, you can buy 20 stickers, however many you need.
And that's a convenience. It's not like you mark it up or something like that. You're just trying to find a place.
This is the cost Advanced Disposal has charged. We buy them from them. We sell it to the residents. There's no profit made by any entity at all. They're also available at the Park District Sullivan Center, Mariano's, and Walgreens, which makes it more convenient for residents who can't get in here to the Village Hall in the hours we're opening. So always try them, on an evening or a weekend when you think you need the stickers. As far as like tree branches or twigs, they ask that they be bundled in no larger than a 4-inch diameter. They ask that your bags or can that you put your yard waste in weigh no more than 50 pounds. Now you can either buy the craft paper bags, you can buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, almost anywhere. You can put the sticker right, I typically would just put 1 sticker right on the front of the bag so the driver sees it. If you have the service through Advanced Disposal where you don't need the stickers, you are allowed a maximum of 6 bags out at the curb. If you exceed the 6 bags, then you will need stickers on the additional bags.
Well, so you've got the stickers. If you've got the subscription service, you can also have a can, like we've got a can that we've marked with a big duct tape X, and the subscription tag so that they know is that big truck sticker that you stick on the side of your garbage.
Yeah, and you'll probably see it on, throughout the village. They'll send you a sticker about this size, and it will have the year on it, and then that alerts the driver that you have subscribed to them. Yeah. They ask that it not be larger than a 32-gallon can, and as you said, you can also just put a big X on it with duct tape or whatever, so that tells them it's yard waste. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been using ours for a while. I got to go get my X straightened out. It probably fell off, but and more information. I know you can call here. There's information on the website. You can call Advanced. They'll help you with that. You can talk to your neighbors. If you have had neighbors that are around for a while, they know how to do all this stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you have any questions, we'll do the best we can. But really, if you just call the Advanced Disposal, they're the ones who are picking it up, so they can tell you. There are some requirements with the yard waste, though. They do not allow sod, dirt, mulch, hay, nuts, rocks, fruit, corn stalks, or animal waste to be put in with your yard waste. Okay. So strictly grass, leaves, twigs, things of that nature. Right.
And I know there's some lists online about that. And if you do have something weird to pick up, they're good about if you need something hauled away, they'll help you with that too. You call for a special pickup.
Oh yeah, just call if you have a large piece of furniture or something of that nature. It doesn't come into your regular garbage pickup. Just call them for a special pickup. Yeah.
Excellent. So that's the information about permits. It's pretty much the overview of everything you need to know. So if you want to know more, go online. Come see Mary, but if you do a little research so you don't get caught someplace without a permit when you need one. We don't want to be slowed down. So thanks for your time, Mary. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
Well, we've come outside by the garbage cans, which, it's not the most lovely place to talk to Michael Atkinson, who's our building commissioner, but we are talking about something appropriate here because it's where to put the cans, what you're supposed to do with the garbage cans. We're getting into the yard waste season. Always generates a lot of calls from unhappy neighbors who don't like something that's going down in their neighborhood. So let's talk about what we want people to do about their garbage cans.
Sure. Well, first of all, we ask that people put out their garbage cans no earlier than 5 o'clock the preceding day. And when they do so, we ask that they put it with the handle side in, and that they space the cans at least 3 feet apart so that there's room for the driver to pick up the can and put it into the.
When they switch to that automated system, they just need a little wiggle room to work, so they like that opening forward. And you said 5 o'clock the night before, and I know that one of the things that is trickier than on your regular garbage day, early in the week, you have your recycling in the blue and garbage in the green, which is kind of counterintuitive for us who think green. So.
Yeah, with green you'd think that's environmental and that would be the way to go. But in this case, the garbage is actually the green and the recycling can would be the blue can.
Also, your main garbage day is also the day if you have yard waste. Now, we've also already talked to Mary at Village Hall about getting stickers or having the subscription service. For instance, here at this house, we have subscriptions. We've got the can marked with an X, but it's those clippings that sit out. That's what generates a lot of calls. So you don't want the craft paper bags out there ahead either, do you?
No, please. Again, 5 o'clock the preceding day. Put them out such that they're level and they won't blow over easily as well. And please get them out that week, because the longer they sit in your yard, the more they decompose and start smelling.
Yeah, exactly. And then we talked about that's how you put them out. You'd like them, the key is rolling them back and getting them back out of sight as soon as possible. That's what generates the calls in the neighborhood. And that's what sometimes, too, you end up tagging people, too, if the neighbors are too upset.
We ask that you take the cans back in no later than 7 o'clock the day of pickup. We ask that they be located either in the garage or on the side of your house. And if they're on the side of your house, they would need to be 15 feet back from the front face. Or if not 15 feet back, then screened so that they can't be seen from the street.
And I know a lot of people have put up bushes, or they've got a little fence piece or something like that can kind of keep it all hidden.
Sure, and that would be okay. That would effectively screen the garbage cans.
Now, if you're new to town and this all seems confusing, I know there's information online that you can, or somebody can call up and ask the questions.
Yeah, there is information on our website, or you could always just call the Village Hall and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
And of course, advanced disposal. I mean, as you see from these cans here, we've had a lot of different names for that company, but now they're called Advanced Disposal. They're available to answer questions too, or when am I supposed to get things picked up and things like that.
They sure are, and their number as well is available on our website.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your help today. We know that sometimes these are the calls you guys don't like to have to field, but it's good when everybody knows what the expectation is. So when the neighbors are calling, we know what's going on. So thanks for your help.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We are at the Vernon Hills Public Works Department, which is at 490 Greenleaf Drive, right off Butterfield Road. We're with Public Works Director Dave Brown, and one of the topics we're going to talk about today, Dave, first of all, thanks for joining us, is emerald ash borer. That bug we have talked about for so long because it has really caused problems. And I look back on our records, you warned us about it in 2008, well before everybody else.
Yeah, 2008 was when we first started learning about emerald ash borer, and its presence was coming to town. So it was identified, and in 2010 we had 3,500 village-owned parkway trees that we've been dealing with over a span of time. So we're glad to report we're pretty much towards the end of our program. Our village board has been very good and thought it was very important to address this immediately. We tried injecting some trees and tried to save some ash trees, but we had an extensive problem and we did a lot of removals. And I'm very pleased to say that they said don't just remove them, but we want you to reforest the village right away. And so right now we've 2,764 trees we've been able to remove and replace. So we're pretty far along. At the end of this year, we should be pretty close to, in football terms, the 2-yard line.
So, and when we talk about village trees, and as you said, they're the ones on the parkway, they're the ones like next to the sidewalk, next to the street, in the middle of the street. It's not, there's still other ash trees around though.
Yeah. So our main focus was trying to protect the public and address the ones within the right-of-way and the parkway, as you said. There's still trees surrounding, open space areas. People have them in their backyards, so they still exist. Our thoughts are if a tree hasn't been injected and the emerald ash borer has been in this area for such a long time, the tree is very likely affected. If they need any help, we do have a number of arborists on staff. Ken Lohr is the crew leader in charge, and they certainly can reach out to us and we'd give them some technical assistance on that.
Meaning identify that, yes, that's an ash tree, and yes, it's sick. You can't come and take the tree down for us.
Absolutely. It's more technical assistance and pointing them in the right direction so they can deal with the ash tree.
Well, and as we said, it came in through like the Michigan area. A lot of communities have been devastated by this. We're not the only one, but we are seeing where other communities that haven't been quite as diligent in this, where a big wind comes and then there's leaves falling in the street or tree limbs falling in the street and things like that. So that was your main concern, is the safety.
Yeah, ash trees are different than the Dutch elm disease that was prevalent previously. Ash trees become very brittle, and once they've been infected, in short order, they really need to be removed because they will, cause harm.
So that's the emerald ash borer. We're almost to the 2-yard line. So you've got folks out there working on that as we speak, but we're getting close. And so hopefully one day we won't have to talk about that anymore. But it has been quite a devastating thing. Now another thing that Public Works, as it gets to be warm, it's pothole season, it's road rehab season, it's all those things. Have we got anything on the docket for that area?
Yeah, our road rehabilitation program is scheduled for the New Century Town Manor Homes area, and we're touching 2 small areas within the north and south Woodbine roadways. We're starting April 25th, so we've bid out the project. A-Lamp is our contractor. They've worked with us before, so they'll be helping us with this year's program. We've coordinated with the NCT Manor Homes Homeowners Association. We've communicated to area residents, so they should see the activities soon, and we hope to get in, get out, and leave them alone for many years.
That's nice. And when we talk about that road rehab plan, you do have a plan. This isn't just something that spring comes and you go, let's redo a road. You've got a chart that takes you through the quality of the roads, and you plan ahead for this.
Yeah, last year we did a full pavement management study. IMS was the company that we contracted with. They drive with a deflectometer that drives around the whole village, imparts a load on the pavement, has sensors, tells us how the subsurface part that you can't see, how that is reacting to that load. And so it gives us good information, good data to determine what the conditions of our roads are. We're very pleased to find that in terms of pavement management, we're well ahead of the curve compared to other municipalities. We want to stay in front of the curve. We try to take care of patching potholes where we can. If you wait and you have to do a rehabilitation program that's removal and replacement, that can be 3 times as much as a simple grind and overlay.
It's the more cost and more inconvenience to the people living around there, so we like you in and out quick too.
Absolutely, that is the plan.
Okay. And if people in those neighborhoods want to find out more, there's information, like you said, you've been communicating, there's information online, call over here and get some more information. Now, one of the last things we were going to talk about is you've had some work that you're doing over at the Arbor Theater off Fairway Drive. What's been going on over there?
Well, I guess I'm very pleased that we have such a nice day. We're in April. Snow season officially is over, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We do get 1.2 inches of snow on average for April, but that's past us. We're looking forward. Yes, at the Arbor Theater, we did a shoreline restoration just to the stream side of the arbor, and between a contractor and my staff, completely renovated the one shoreline. New landscaping was placed there. I'm really anxious to see how nice that one specific area is going to look. We've also did some other areas. The prairie, that was overgrown by a wild rose and some other invasives. We've been working on that for the last 3 years to really regenerate it. We think the prairie is coming in well, and looking forward to how nice the Arbor Theater is going to look this spring.
The Arbor Theater is a beautiful venue. If you've not been over there, go take a look. But we'll look at the plantings too and admire your work. And thank you to all your staff, because I know you've come off of the winter and the ice and the snow and everything, and now they're right back at it with the trees and the grass and the roads and everything else. So they're a busy group.
Yeah, I'm really proud of especially the efforts on our Streets and Grounds division, the little whimsical characters that they put out from year to year. That's really diligence of my staff and creativity, and I think it brings cheer to people as they drive by and they look forward to seeing what else is out there.
Yeah, we like to see that creativity and that imagination, because we don't know which holiday, what we're going to see, and it's nice to see like the shamrocks and the hearts and everything else go out. So thank you to your staff for that. So if you want to find out more about what's going on over at Public Works, give them a call, go online, send an email, but stay informed, and thank you to you and your crew, and we look forward to an easy spring for y'all.
We could look forward to that.
Where we're out and about in town, we're with Ken Lohr. He's crew chief for the arborist division. He's one of our village arborists, and you guys have been busy. And as Dave Brown just explained, you're kind of getting into that tail end of the emerald ash borer situation. We wanted to come to you to talk about that process. We talk generally about how many trees have been moved out, but the fact that you come through and we're going to still see some stumps in the neighborhood. So what happens? How do you guys do that stuff?
Typically, we remove the trees late winter, and then we start grinding the stumps. That usually starts taking place end of April, beginning of May. When we get the trees, we'll grind the stumps, leaving a planting hole, and then we'll come back later and plant the tree in there. So usually within a few days to a week, it'll be grind the stump and plant the new tree.
Okay, so it isn't really a long time you're going to be sitting there with a stump. You guys are coming through in pretty short order.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's a few stumps from other removals during the year, but yeah, pretty quickly we get the tree down and get the stump out and new tree planted.
And it should be planting time pretty soon. And I understand part of the problem with the emerald ash borer, they like the ash trees, which is so prevalent in most subdivisions because it grew quickly. It used to be so hardy. So because one of the things you're doing is you are replanting. You're just not leaving it empty. So what kind of trees are going in now?
We're using a wide variety of trees. There's a few different species of maples, a few oak trees, some beautiful native trees too. Hackberry, Kentucky coffee tree, just a whole lot of different species.
So the goal is to really mix up and diversify the forest.
Right. So we started with 30% ash trees. So we're taking that 30% that was all ash trees and we're diversifying, and so we're using many different species.
Okay, so we can watch that happen. And I know as those trees start going in, you'll see the water bags on them. Is there anything a homeowner needs to do? I know what you're doing is you're working on the common trees in the parkways, and those are you take care of that then.
Yeah, if once the tree's planted, we do have a water bag on there, and we just ask that the residents fill the tree once per week. Fill the bag once per week. Any more than that, and you can actually drown the tree. Too much water is actually bad in this situation.
Okay, and a lot of times they stay filled up, and by the time your crews hit the route again, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, the water is designed to come out of the bag about 12 to 14 hours. It should come out of the bag, so it should empty within a day. If it's not, give us a call and we'll come out and take a look at the bag. It could be clogged.
Well, I'm talking about coming out and taking a look. So you're taking care of the trees that are kind of in the common spaces, but a lot of us have those same kind of trees in our backyards, in our front yards, in our side yards, in our own property. and sometimes we don't know what we've got because sometimes the diseased trees don't look diseased to us, and so we aren't, so keen to call somebody and pay them to come and look at it. But I understand you can come and at least identify problems.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to come out and take a look myself or one of the other certified arborists that we have on staff. We'd be happy to come out and take a look at your private trees and make an assessment for you. It's absolutely free.
And that's a good idea because I know that the concern is once the branches start coming off, there's some pretty big branches that come down, and then that's a health hazard for your family, and it's rough on your house.
Right. I mean, the ash trees, once they die from emerald ash borer, they do tend to break down rather quickly, and large limbs can start to break off within a couple of years after the tree's died. So taking the tree down and removing it sooner rather than later, it's going to be a long way for safety.
Well, it's nice that we can give a call. You guys can come and take a look and say, yes, that is a problem, or no, you're fine, that kind of a thing.
Exactly. Yeah, we can come out, take a look, and see if it's, identify it, make sure it's an ash tree that we're talking about, and if it is, give you some recommendations is what we think. And any other trees as well. Doesn't have to necessarily be an ash. We can look at any other trees on the property and take a look.
When we talk about kinds of trees, because another tree that you mentioned that has been causing problems, we are here in the Centennial Crossing neighborhood on Rainy, and there's a lot of stumps here, and this is a different kind of tree that kind of broke down in the big snow. Can we tell people what's going on here?
Sure. Unfortunately, the Bradford pear trees they're notorious for being kind of a weak-wooded tree and for splitting, and we have a lot of them planted right here on Rainy Avenue and also in the Hawthorne Club subdivision. Over the years, we've lost many pear trees to when it's really windy, or we get those early season snowstorms like we had last November with the wet, heavy snow. It weights down the branches and the trees tend to break. So this year we have started removing some of the more hazardous pear trees in Hawthorne Club and then also here along Rainy Avenue. These pear trees, unfortunately, they're very beautiful in the spring. They have beautiful red fall color, but they're just prone to breakage, and they do become a hazard. And we would hate to have somebody injured by a branch falling in a windstorm or such. So we're trying to be proactive and remove some of the more hazardous trees right now, and we'll be replacing those trees, not with pear trees, but other beautiful trees.
Okay. So it's the same sort of thing. You're going to pull them out, stumps, grind them out, and then diversify the urban forest.
Exactly. We're going to try and plant, some nice species of trees, and they won't be prone to breakage.
It's always something, isn't it? There's always something going on. So, well, thank you to you and your crews for all the work you're doing. And remember, if you have a question or you just want even help in identifying what trees you do have or what work you maybe should contract out for, give a call over to the Public Works Department. Go online, send an email. These guys are here to help. So thank you so much. And hopefully it's a nice lot of good working weather for you guys as you're outside. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Vernon Hills Update. If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Stordo at 847-918-3560 or email mikes@vhills.org. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.